everybody. And I want to thank you all for joining us tonight at our Hard at Work episode. This is a recurring program that we have with an update from Bergen County Prosecutor Mark Musella on the opioid epidemic, resources and ways on how to prevent and where to get help. And most importantly, our local police officers from the different departments all around Bergen County, all 70 towns we're going to make happen, and how it affects our police too, the opioid epidemic. It's really important that we get a chance to hear from them. And, you know, this is a collaborative effort, what we are doing. What we are doing here in Bergen County, which is approximately 1 million people, we need to find ways to come together. And tonight we get to hear from local officer, Detective Sergeant James Donatello from the South Hackensack Department. We get to hear from Detective Sergeant Adam Hampton from Hillsdale Police Department. We get to hear from Cassandra Colaizzi, who's the Bergen County Prevention Coalition and the Bergen County Hub Coordinator. She'll tell you more about that. And we also get to hear from Rob Sibrian, who's coming to us from Bergen Newbridge Medical Center, who works in the recovery center, and he will give you an update on what's going on at the hospital and services there. So the thing I like the acronym HOPE. HOPE is hearing other people's experiences. And coming together and working together, we have an opportunity to hear each other and raise the ability to find solutions together. As a woman in recovery, we talk about solutions to addiction with our peers on a regular basis, and we stay connected and we are of service to each other for recovery for ourselves. And the one way we can do that so well is community. Community is important. With the fentanyl and all the illicit substances out there and the legalization of marijuana, we all need to be better informed right now and responsible for ourselves, for our families and our fellows. This way we can recover our world together, and I truly believe that. So we have a wonderful program tonight, and I want to thank Morgan Kennedy from the Center of Alcohol and Drug Resources, who's behind the scenes. She is the person that puts this together so beautifully with all the visuals and all the behind the scenes productions. And thank you, Morgan. I just want to say hi to you and thank you. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Prosecutor Musella, if he's in the room.
I'm here. You see me, Nancy, and can hear me?
I certainly can hear you. Hello, Prosecutor Musella. How are you tonight?
Hi, how are you? And hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. And Nancy and Morgan, again, thank you for hosting this event every month. Was it every month now, Nancy, or every 2 months?
It's still every 2 months.
Yeah,
and,
every 2 months. And, it's a very important event. I love being on the event. I like hearing about what all the officers are doing throughout the county to help, help us in this fight against opioids and help Nancy with what she's doing. I say it every 2 months when I'm on this Zoom, how important I think the work that Nancy's doing and how important the work that all of you are doing every day. And that's why I try to be at every one of these Hard at Works, and also, the Black Poster projects, and just trying to be at all the events that all our partners host. All these events, they raise awareness, they connect people to treatment, they help end the stigma surrounding opioid substance abuse, and all those three things together, I believe, and I know all of you believe, save lives, and that's why we're doing this, right? We have these events so that we do those three things. We and in the hope that it will save lives. 100,000 people died from an opioid overdose in 2021. I talk about that again at all these events. That's more than car accidents, the flu, and gun crime combined. So we know we're in an epidemic. We're trying to combat it every day, one encounter at a time. Our office is doing everything that we can in the interdiction space, in the connection space, and in the prevention space. I know you're all aware that we do Pathways to Addiction. I know that you're all aware that we're at the George Washington Bridge trying to stop the drugs and the money from coming into our county. And I know that you also know that we have take-backs, quarterly take-backs. All of you also join in those programs. So these are all things that we're doing to try and prevent in the interdiction space and trying to prevent the drugs from coming into our county. We also are involved in Connection, as you know, and again, many of you on this call are partners with us in a lot of these efforts. So we talk about Narcan. Well, every officer, all 3,000 officers in Bergen County carry Narcan. Every time Narcan is deployed, a connection is made by prosecutor directive. Officers call a recovery specialist to come to the scene or come to the hospital and talk to the individuals and try to get them into treatment. So again, one event at a time, we're trying to reach out to people and get them into treatment. Also, we know that officers deployed Narcan 364 times last year, which is almost once a day. And we know that 700, there were 700 overdoses. We know 155 were fatal, but we believe that the 364 times officers deployed Narcan, a life was saved. And again, hopefully someone was connected to treatment. We also have Operation Helping Hand that, again, many of you participate in. Again, one encounter at a time, we're trying to get people, divert them from the court system and try to get them into treatment. In the diversion space, we have the Fair Lawn Project, which has now become basically a county-wide project where we offer diversion instead of jail and instead of the court system. We offer diversion to try and get people, again, connected to a recovery specialist, trying to get them connected to a patient navigator, trying to get them into treatment. We have the HEART program as well, where anyone can walk into the police department with drugs and seek help, where family members can also call police departments and try and get their loved ones help. We have our 24-hour hotline now, where we, again, trying to connect people to treatment. And we found that the hotline to date has serviced over 500 people. And again, you know, these numbers are fluid, but approximately 80% of the people that called have been receptive and connected to treatment. We don't know if they're following up, but again, all we can do is make that initial connection. So all these ways we're trying to connect people to treatment. We're also trying to get, and we're very close, and I keep saying this at every time we have these calls, that we're trying to get the Bergen Recovery Court up and running. We are very close. We have funding, we have approval. It's just we're in the final stages now of trying to get the court personnel in place. So that will be coming soon. And again, it's modeled after the Fair Lawn model that we worked with Nancy on, and we worked with Children's Aid and Family Services on, trying to get people connected to treatment at court. And now even we've given police officers the ability to try and connect people to treatment at time of arrest. So all these things we're doing, we're trying, all of us together, all our partners working together. We're trying to get people connected to treatment. We're trying to raise awareness. We're trying to end the stigma, and we're trying to save lives. So I want to thank all our partners. I want to thank all 3,000 police officers in Bergen County for the efforts that you make every day in this battle. You guys, all of you inspire me. I know you inspire Nancy. Nancy inspires me. Dee inspires me. Morgan inspires me to continue this fight. And I think that's what we're doing. I think that we're really leaning on each other here to help each other, to inspire each other, to keep each other going. And, you know, we're doing this because we care about our community. We're doing this because we want to help our community. And we're doing this because we want to save the lives of our loved ones, our family, our friends, and our families and friends' children. I've been, you know, just as an aside, I've also been going to, I've done about 50 high schools throughout Bergen County, talking to young people about a career in law enforcement, a career in government service, a career in public service. But also I do a segment on fentanyl, and I do a segment on opioid abuse. And I talk to them about Narcan and how officers deploy Narcan. I talk about the dangers of buying drugs on the street. So I have a little opioid piece in there. Again, just to get the word out to our young people in an effort to save lives, again, to get them to not use drugs, and not especially drugs that they find on the street. or buy on the street or are given to them on the street. So I want to thank the County Office for Alcohol and Drug Dependency, the Center for Alcohol and Drug Resources, Bergen Newbridge Medical Center, the Black Poster Project, Alumni in Recovery, New Jersey Recovery Advocates. I want to, of course, thank Children's Aid and Family Services and Ellen Elias and her team. I want to thank Nancy. I want to thank Morgan. I want to thank Dee. Thank you for all you do. And finally, of course, I want to thank the 3,000 police officers in Bergen County for the work you do every day. It is not unnoticed. It is appreciated. And it's events like this and all the partners that I've mentioned, see what you guys do, know what you guys do, and are happy to partner with you together in this fight. And that's why, Nancy, I can't really thank you enough for hosting this event every month and just really drawing attention to this issue, but more importantly, thanking the officers in Bergen County for the work that they do every day. So thank you, and have a good night. And everyone keep up the good work. And again, if you guys need anything, any of the organizations I mentioned, any of the partners I mentioned, any police officers, you know that we're here. You know that we're behind you and we support you 110%. And if you guys need any help, any resources, any manpower, whatever we can do for you, the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office is here to help you in your public service. Thank you.
Thank you, Prosecutor Musella. We always appreciate you coming on and speaking, and you're so involved in the community. And you are absolutely right. It is so necessary that we get a chance to hear from our police officers. And I have to say, every police officer I've ever met in Bergen County is always so willing to partner in some way to try to raise awareness and be of service. I have to say, the officers have brought us, as alumni and recovery members, the young people in recovery, to come in and speak alongside them on a regular basis in the schools. And that's, that is so valuable. And we really appreciate all the different ways that they want to try to help their. And I can't wait to hear from, I think we first have, I'm waiting for the screen to come up. Morgan will put it up.
There he is.
Yay, Detective Sergeant James Donatello from South Hackensack Police Department. Hi there, how are you?
Good evening, everybody. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. You are actually from Hackensack yourself, aren't you?
Correct. Yeah, I currently live in South Hackensack. I lived here for about 8 years, so it's I think I have a unique experience to share about living in the town where I also have to police. And unfortunately, sometimes we do encounter the individuals who are suffering from an opioid addiction or some other form of another sort of addiction, perhaps we see from time to time. So I'm here for any experience I could share, whatever you need.
Great. Tell us more about what you're doing over there in Hackensack. Love to hear.
Sure. Since the beginning of this year, we've been working very close with the Center for Alcohol and Drug Rehab. They have brought in a team of recovery specialists, and we got them hooked up with our motels, which we have 5 in our jurisdiction along Route 46. And the motels in that area attract a clientele that is kind of conducive for drug use, for drug sales. But mainly we see a lot of drug use happening in these motels. So the Center for Alcohol and Drug Rehab, we would take them to the motels. We would introduce them to motel staff and motel management, get management's blessing for the Center for Alcohol and Drug Rehab to go door to door for motel rooms. They would knock on each door. They possibly could encounter somebody who had an addiction or was seeking services, and the partnership would be made right there. And this was happening for once a week, I believe, until like the last couple of weeks. They've been picking it up a little bit, but I would always get a text from the recovery specialist saying like, hey, we connected 3 people today to recovery services, or we encountered one individual today who we actually brought to Bergen Newbridge or some other facility because they actually they wanted help, and the center luckily got them at a good time and brought them for services. As the prosecutor said, we do our share of educating the public. We give community presentations on opioid addiction and how it could affect really anybody of any age. So to bring it back to the motels, when we encounter overdoses that are fatal or non-fatal, I've personally seen, every age, every ethnicity, every gender. Addiction doesn't really, as we all know, addiction doesn't care if you're rich or poor or black or white or Spanish, or if you're young. We've unfortunately had to make death notifications to, parents of a 17-year-old and to children of a 70-year-old. It doesn't care. Addiction doesn't care about your circumstances. So we do try to educate the public, our children. And I know that there's more I think we could do in that area. I think education is key, and showing people that what we see on a daily basis is, just to give you an example, actually, when we make a heroin arrest, the glassine bags, the folds, we send them to the state lab for testing. And recently, we're getting the results back that there's not even any heroin in the glassine folds. It is all 100% fentanyl.
Mm.
And you take one bag of fentanyl, a couple of grams or specks, literally sand the size of a grain of sand, and if it has fentanyl in it and you ingest it, you're basically done. You're done. When we do encounter people during an arrest, we always give them kind of like a debriefing form, like, hey, how did you get started? What led you to this, where you are right now? And I would say the majority of the responses are people who suffered some sort of injury, car accident, work-related injury, sports injury, if they were, a young adult in college or high school, and they were prescribed opiate medication, and they developed a habit that they couldn't kick. And then once the prescribers, stopped filling the prescription, their brain was still seeking and still craving, the opiate. So then they would go out and they would, and try to get it on the street. And unfortunately, it's a dangerous world right now with the crazy amount of fentanyl we're seeing in this area. And I do give credit to the prosecutor's office, the narcotics task force, for the hard work they do at stopping much of what comes into Bergen County because of our close proximity to New York.
My goodness, I can't get over the amount of overdoses that has been reported by, the prosecutor in Bergen County, and even just all the, it must just be so difficult for you officers to have to experience, like you said, having to go to the parents of a 17-year-old or the 70-year-old parents. And I can't thank you enough for all the work you do. And thank you for giving us an idea of what's going on in Hackensack. So appreciate you very much. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Nancy,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I just want to follow up on what Detective Sergeant Donatello said with regard to the fentanyl. He's absolutely right. It's not even anecdotal what he said. We have the numbers from the Attorney General's office. And in Bergen County last year, 98% of all suspected heroin submissions to the state police lab contained all fentanyl or fentanyl and heroin. So 98% of the submissions contained fentanyl, which people thought they were buying heroin, told us it was heroin, and it was fentanyl. And as we all know, fentanyl is 100 times more powerful than morphine. And it will, a small amount, as Detective Donatello indicated, will kill you. So this is the message we have to get out to our young people. The message that I've been telling them, and I think all of you officers know this, and the same message is going out in unison across the county, is that anything you buy on the street, whether it's a powder, whether it's a pill, whether it's anything you buy on the street that is not given to you by from a prescription, from a doctor, or from a pharmacist, contains fentanyl and can kill you. And you know, we haven't seen it in vegetation in New Jersey yet, but I've heard again from other prosecutors in other states that it is in vegetation in other states, and it's coming. So it's anything that you're going to buy in the street can contain fentanyl and can kill you. And unfortunately, I think you know, we're in the early stages of that.
And the more reason why we need to have these continuous conversations and encourage people to come on. And remember that these are recorded, and you can always go to our YouTube channel of Alumni in Recovery New Jersey and share them with others. It will be available. And we have Morgan Kennedy from the Center for Alcohol and Drug Resources to thank for that, because she will make sure it's available real soon. And she'll send you the link. So thank you. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Detective Sergeant Adam Hampton from the Hillsdale Police Department. And I know he also is born and raised in Hillsdale. Well, but not also. He's born and raised in Hillsdale. And I just really think it's great that you officers are so committed to your jobs and helping your community. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say about how you help your community.
I just want to compliment Detective Sergeant Donatello on the outreach that they're doing at the motels, and you know, being in law enforcement, knowing, you know, the clientele and the issues that arise out of having that. That's just, you know, really good out of the box thinking, and you know, it really is helpful. While we don't have, you know, motels or anything in Hillsdale, you know, we've certainly had our challenges over time. I was born and raised in Hillsdale, and I've lived and I'm raising a family in Hillsdale my whole life. So it's been important for me to be involved with the community. And, you know, our agency is a very community focused agency. We do a lot of community outreach. In particular, you know, we do work with our schools quite closely. We've managed to really foster a tremendous relationship with our local school district, our regional high school district, and our local parochial schools. So, you know, we have a really great team of officers that are, you know, doing the DARE program in 5th grade. You know, we're visiting the schools, we're doing consistent walkthroughs, and, you know, our DARE officers really, I can't say, there's so much I could say about them, the job that they do and the way that they take that curriculum and they manage to massage it into these 5th grade kids to give them a really good understanding as to what the dangers are. We've worked in the past with the prosecutor's office on the high school level to, you know, to talk about you know, the opioid epidemic and fentanyl, and, you know, we're constantly in the schools and we're constantly, you know, doing our outreach with them. You know, on a community level, it can be a little bit difficult at times living in the town that you work in, as Sergeant Donatello would know, you know, but those contacts are good because, you know, we're able to kind of to get out and outreach even to people when we're not working. You know, you see people that you've encountered while working, you know, being friendly, being approachable, saying hi to people. I've always found that to be, even, you know, the people that we may have had a really rough day with the day before, if I see them in the local shop, right, just saying hello to them might kind of help turn their day around. And I think with the interesting thing that I've seen over my career, and I'm coming near the end of my career, is the fundamental change in the way law enforcement officers approach, you know, addiction and particular with opioids. And a lot of that comes from the direction of the state and the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office. I think we're way ahead of a lot of things, but it's the empathy that we now manage to bring to the job that we're doing. And, you know, we're you know, we've done a real good job humanizing people, and we can be empathetic and we talk to them. And, you know, we do the same thing that Sergeant Donatello does. We debrief the people as we're, you know, and dealing with them, and we talk to them about what happens, and sports injuries, you know, and people that got hurt, and workman's comp, and those introductions, and, you know, we've seen all those after effects. So, you know, it's been really nice and to be able to be empathetic with people and to work with people and to know and understand their situation. You know, nobody wants to deal with law enforcement, but we found that if we show that little bit of caring and empathy, and we try to understand what they're doing and try to get them some resources, it's humongous. And we do the same thing with our high school. When we have kids that are struggling with addiction at the high school, and you know, we're dealing with them on a law enforcement level, and we're working with the high, you know, it's a collaborative effort with me and with our high school. That's one of the things that I'm most proud of is the outreach we've managed to do on a high school level, and being able to really talk to parents and get families involved and really do our best to get kids the services that they need, not let them slip any further. So, just being a local town guy and a local town cop, it's been a pleasure to be able to work with people and to try to do what we can do. We haven't been able to save everybody, but we certainly put the effort in to try.
No, you do a fantastic job. And we've come into Pascack Valley High School,
Yes.
which you are a student resource officer again at. In fact, how many years have you been a student resource officer?
I've been in and out. I was a full-time school resource officer for about 3 years, and then I became a supervisor. And with personnel issues, right now I'm fulfilling the role once again in with my other duties. So on and off for about the last 10 years. So
no, you're doing a great job.
Great.
And your area, I know, has suffered a lot of losses. I mean, I live really close to you. I live in Old Tapan, and I mean, I just know Rivervale itself, which is part of that school community. I remember a season where like 5 young people died of overdoses. It was horrendous, and there's a wave that goes through the community, and that we all need to connect. And I loved how you said that. We all just kind of need to find a way to meet people where they're at and be able to have some empathy and compassion for each other. And as a nurse working in addiction, and I worked, in rehabs and in mental health facilities, you have to find a way to talk with others. And that's why we need these conversations so much. And we need you all. And thank you so much for coming on tonight.
And I think, and I'll just leave it, it's being us given the tools and the opportunities we can't arrest our way out of this. Yeah. And I think that we managed to figure this out sooner than some other areas. And I think, it's going to bear fruit, and it is bearing fruit now.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Detective.
All right. Okay. So next we have Cassandra Colaizzi, and she is the Bergen County Prevention Coalition Coordinator and Hub Coordinator. And you know what? I'm going to let Morgan Kennedy give you a few words about her, because she knows her a lot better than me. She could put a lot more superlatives on this. So go for it, Morgan.
Hi. So I have the great honor of working with Cassandra every day in the office, and she's always has a big smile, just as she does right now. And for those of you who know me, I like to do the same thing. So obviously we get along. But Cassandra is someone who wears so many hats, and she wants to be wearing all the hats because she wants to be doing all the things. And I mean that with all the love, because she does this day in and day out, and she'll be at a table, she'll be at a school, she'll be at a conference, and she'll do it all just because she's able to, and she has a position that she's at. And I know she recently got a promotion, so she can explain a little bit more about her position, because it is quite the title. But I'll let you take it away, and I'll let you introduce Papaya, which I'm very, very excited about for Papaya.
Thank you so much, Morgan. That was so kind. I do have quite a big head in some pictures, so lots of room for hats. Thank you. So yeah, I work at Center for Alcohol and Drug Resources with Morgan. I am the Prevention Coalition Hub Coordinator. I was formerly the resource specialist, moved into this role in January. So in the prevention world, it looks a little bit different than what we're hearing so far. So as the BCPC, we do a lot of different types of work. So we do early intervention programs for youth. This morning, I was in Dwight Morrow doing 2 cycles of, it's a program called Preventure that we do where the kids take an assessment and they get scored in different personality types. And then we work through coping skills based on how they score. And it's a 4-day program. And that's going really lovely. We're halfway through with it. We do another early intervention program. It's called Creating Healthy Attitudes in Teens, where we have the youth work through a workbook around goal setting, problem solving, again, healthy coping skills, trying to build up all those protective factors that we know are so important in this type of work. We also do tabling events. I'm going to be at Indian Hills High School tomorrow. We give presentations to parents, to teachers, to youth on current drug trends, on how to identify what your kid might be acting like or what might be in their room if they're using substances. We do that one for parents a lot. I give a presentation on what is CBD, medical marijuana, to senior citizens because they have lots of questions, especially on, what is marijuana currently and how are we safe in adult use of marijuana. We do presentations on over-the-counter medicine safety. We've been doing one on coping and resiliency skills. We did it for first high schoolers, and now we've adapted actually to older adults. We did our first session with Elmwood Park Senior Center last week, and it was really, really great. They loved it. We lead them through meditation. It's really lovely. And a big part of what we do is this papaya character you can see in that corner. They're purple in this. Papaya comes in many colors. It's through a grant through the county. It's part of one of our PSA campaigns. Papaya is a non-binary character that represents stigma-free. So through this papaya character, we have a whole social media toolkit. We have posters, table tents, stickers, all of which are about being stigma-free. So the idea with papaya is we have this like big giant poster, and on the poster, it has all of the local resources for youth. So it has a self-harm hotline, 288. Our Bergen County Warm Line has, I think the eating disorders hotline is on there, the 24-hour opioid hotline. It has all the ones that are youth specific and that youth would need. And so we've been distributing those posters and those table tents to schools and libraries in the area, just where youth can use it. We know a lot of schools have been putting them in the bathroom because a lot of times students, if they're feeling upset, will, go cry in the bathroom or, deal with their emotions there. So we do, just a lot of work. As the Bergen County Prevention Coalition, we meet every third Thursday, except this month it's on Wednesday, as a coalition where we have law enforcement, we have treatment center homes, we'll have teachers on the call, we have other nonprofits. We're trying to get, as many sectors as possible, kind of talk about similar to this, what are we seeing? What are some gaps in prevention? What else can we be doing? We did some talking about what we should do for Alcohol Awareness Month when it was April. We're trying to plan some summer prevention activities as well. So we are, quite busy. We try to do a lot of speaking engagements and just, engage with the community however we can best serve them.
Very important.
Yes, sure is. And where are you located, Cassandra?
So we are at Center for Alcohol and Drug Resources, which is a part of Hillsdale Family Services, and our office is in Fairlawn.
That's awesome. Could you please put all the information that you talked about, a little homework, in the chat, just in case anybody wants to copy and paste it or use it? That would be awesome. And, Alumni in Recovery is always available to help you with any summer alcohol or drug awareness programs during the summer. We'd be happy to help you out because, it's like you said, it's really important. Summertime is such a time for youth to begin using substances. I can speak for myself. I did that myself, and I think it's a really important time to be getting messaging out. I know Morgan had done a lot of work on that when she was at Alumni in Recovery over last summer, doing a whole summer series. And you've brought up a lot of good points, and I just want everybody to know how they can be part of your programs or find your programs. So that would be fantastic.
Yeah. And I'll put my email in the chat as well if you want to, talk about setting up a time to learn more about us or use us. Everything we do is totally free. Let me know, and I'll add some info in the chat as well.
It's a great Bergen County resource, everybody. Please utilize it. Awesome. Thank you, Cassandra. Great to meet you finally.
Thank you.
All right. We've got Rob Sibrian from Bergen Newbridge Medical Center. Are you there, Rob?
Yes. Hi, everybody. How's it going today? Thank you, Nance, for having this. This is amazing to see. I love being a part of this. And I love when I'm asked to speak on this. Newbridge Medical Center. It's the drop-off center for most places when they want to come in and get some help. That's what they're there for. We're open door policy, and it's nobody's turned away. What I think I'm most proud of is how they're changing with the stigma. There's still a stigma out there when people need help, and there's no wrong way to say it, but if you need some help, we're there for you. We're not gonna turn you away. You come in. and then you're gonna find the right answer. Somebody's got an answer for you. That's the thing. It's an open door policy over there, and that's what I like. Everybody knows, at least who to talk to. If they don't have the answer, they're gonna find it for you, and that's a good thing that I like about over there. The communication is going well. The staff really cares. The patient cares. Like, it's just, I got sober through. As a person in recovery, I can tell you that yes, it's a spot that I would recommend for people to go to because it helped me. It changed my life. Now I'm here just because we got new stuff going on in the recovery center. I work in the recovery center as a peer recovery specialist. Like I said, I am in recovery. I'm a little over 2 years now, and I like what I'm hearing too, especially with hey man, Hackensack, that's awesome. Going out there and getting into the motels, good on you, because that's a tricky thing, and to be there in their face when it's happening, that's what they need. Good for you on that one, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I just have to point out that was all made possible by the Center for Alcohol and Drug Rehab. And we just helped them get there, but it was really their idea. And I just want to make sure that they get the credit for that. But I appreciate that.
That's awesome. That's awesome that they're doing it, even allowed to do that the management is okay with it, because that's what it is. It's the stake is that more people are understanding that, hey, it's okay. You need some help. It's sometimes, like you said, no, this does not pick addiction does not pick and choose on who it's going to get. It's going to get you wherever color you're from, wherever the town you're in. It doesn't matter how much your mom had. It doesn't matter, no words. This is a cycle, and it doesn't stop. It can't stop, and there's help. That's what I like hearing. I like hearing the papaya stuff. Wow, I know papaya. I have papaya set up on my bulletin board, and I give it to my teens. That's my mascot for the teens when they have stuff going on. So I'm glad that I got to see the face behind the papaya. So Cassandra, pleasure. That was awesome, and we have a lot going on as well. It's awesome. We got a lot of meetings going on. Newbridge itself has meetings going on Saturdays and Sundays on the weekends. I'm a big fan of a Sunday rap group that they have going on because they bring down the units and they get to see what's life after rehab. You see the people that come in there from the community, come out, people who have been there and now they're working there. I have a coworker who works there now, who I've seen go through it. It's amazing. And I'm one of those stories, so it's nice to give them that hope. That's when they have Mondays, they have a men's meeting at 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, the rap group is at 10 a.m. on Sundays. The rap group is 10 a.m. on Sundays. And there's a men's meeting on Mondays as well, 1 o'clock. That one's in the recovery center. There's a women's wellness on Wednesdays, 1 o'clock. That one's in the recovery center. They have a Naranon meeting now as well on Thursdays. That Naranon is more for families of someone who's suffering with substance abuse or issues with alcohol. That's for the families, and it's amazing that there's an outlet there for that they're opening the door for that. That one's on Thursdays at 7. There's another AA meeting Saturday, 3 to 4. That one's the units do get to go in there, and that one's more structured, more not so much as the rap group. The rap group's a nice, open, informal meeting. Lets everybody just get in and check in. That one's in the auditorium on Sundays. The Saturdays is 3 o'clock in 007, which is downstairs in the basement. And that's more of a formal AA meeting. The stuff that's going on with us is we're doing a lot of outreach right now where, like I said before, the stigma is still out there. So it's nice to see them opening the doors. I have people in the Hispanic community reaching out to me from New Jersey Reentry. That's really cool that I have meetings set up with people like that. I have these doors that are opening from just going through Newbridge and starting, because my boss's name is Mike Paolo. I'm sure a lot of people know him. That guy, that's the guy that took a shot on me, and most people don't take it. That's something that hasn't happened to Rob a lot in his life. So for somebody like that to take a shot on me, it means a lot to me, and for him to trust me to be able to do these things like that, it's amazing. The doors that have opened is amazing. Like I said, that we're reaching out now more to the Hispanic community, we're reaching out to more racial minority groups, so anybody of color. We're reaching out more to the veterans. We're trying to open up more things for vets, because there's also vets who suffer with, they have a lot of PTSD, co-occurring disorders. Reaching out for more people living in poverty. There's a lot going on, not just in, we think of Newark, Patterson, things like that, but I've seen homeless happen here here in Teaneck, here in Hackensack, here in, there's definitely, it's going around and it's just spreading. It's nice to see that the help is out there. You guys, I'm really proud of what we are doing, you guys. Thank you all for your time.
Oh gosh, I'm proud of what you're doing too, Rob. I got to tell you, Rob's he is such a man of service. Seriously, this guy, whenever he can, he takes the time to come speak for alumni in recovery, and he's been speaking at a lot of different schools. He went to Lodi, he's going to Bergen field, and like the end of next week.
Oh yeah, myself, yeah, I'm everywhere when it comes to me doing my recovery. Yeah, Nancy, thank you.
You're helping a lot of kids.
You open those doors. You open those doors. That's what I wanted to piggyback off on too, is the teens. I love that they let me go into the Teen Thrive program. We have a youth adolescent program downstairs, and they let me be their peer, I will call it, because I'm not their counselor. And it's nice when somebody comes in and has that eye to eye contact. I'm on their level. I reach down to their level, and they see that I'm not. I don't know what it is when it comes to reaching the kids. If they feel that we're gonna go back and tell mom and dad, or if we're gonna go back and run and tell the cop, or if we're gonna tell them, it's hard for them to open up and to just tell you that they're even smoking weed. Something is that I see simple, but it's a huge secret to them, and they can't let that out. And it's nice that they're getting that outlet. So again, Nance, thank you. Yes.
We got great resources in Bergen County, and you can see on your screen for anybody that wants to notice it. Bergen Newbridge Medical Center is located in Paramus on a little side street that's Ridgewood Ave, right off of Farview. And please, share it with others. It's beautiful grounds, by the way. I used to work there for many years as a nurse, and it's like 120 beds of addiction services. And, Mike Palello, who's the clinical director of addiction services, he's very open door, like he's very helpful in connecting with people. And I really appreciate it when leaders of, organizations are able to do that, just like you over there, Prosecutor. You do that all the time, and it's true. So we've got a really great community, and just another shout out for the RAP group, for anybody that's in recovery. And you don't even have to be in recovery, but if you're interested in learning a little bit more, or you're just curious about what, like a meeting of people that have some, long-term sobriety, as well as people that are just new in, at the rehab unit, you can go, I think it's in the auditorium now.
Auditorium, correct. Yes,
the auditorium at Bergen Newbridge Medical Center. It'd be real easy to get to. It's at 10 a.m. on Sundays. It's a really good meeting. It's so inspiring. I love that meeting. I used to go there when I was a nurse, on a regular basis, and bring the patients from F1. So thank you, Rob. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Yes.
Oh gosh. So we have, this program is not complete without us, allowing Dee Gillen, who is a parent who has lost her son to addiction and is the creator of the Black Poster Project here. She goes all around Bergen County, and she does so much good work, and I love having her on. And hi, Dee.
Hi. Hi, everybody. I just repeat what everyone has said here. It is just an absolute honor to work next to all of you. And, I have just a little story, real short, but it makes me remember 8 years ago when my son died, a few weeks after, when things calmed down. And, I walked into the police station and I asked the dispatcher for the police report from when the two officers came to my house, because I hardly remembered it, but I remember how kind they were. And he was like, had his back against the wall. He was like, well, may I ask you why? He thought he was going to get blasted. He thought I was going to blast the police station for something. And I wanted to thank them because they were so kind when they came to my house and told me and my husband. But it just made me, it's one moment in time that I always remember, because it reminds me what you guys are up against, all of you, in your field. Like people are, you hear a lot of the, I guess, the bad or the criticism and all that. And the people that are really truly appreciate you and everything you do are the quiet ones. So, you know, this is so important because we have a chance to thank you for what you're doing. You know, we go on with our, like, people like us, Ray, Glennis, but, you know, we've lost our children. And to us, it's over. Our fight is over. But you guys are out there every single day, carrying it on for other people. And we're so grateful for that, for everything you do. It's got to be draining and taxing. And, you know, you must go home some days feeling like, you know, what's going on here. But there's so many people that appreciate every aspect of what each one of you does. And, you know, I just wanted to thank you myself. So thank you. Nancy, you unmute yourself and I'll mute.
Okay, well, you don't have to mute, but Dee Gillen, if nobody's ever seen the Black Poster Project, it's hundreds and hundreds of posters that she hand creates at no cost to anybody that wants to their loved one in the poster project. And she takes it to places like churches. We have set up for Overdose Awareness Day last year for the prosecutor's office, and that fabulous event in the middle of Hackensack. It still touches my heart to just think of it. It was just such an outpouring of community in that space on that view. It was a lovely day that day. And on top of that, you know, we have been setting up in the schools, and that's been really powerful. And you know, so next year as well, we'll be getting back doing more of that. And Prosecutor Musella was actually at one of those events and actually spoke a bit about it. And it's a powerful event.
I'd like to see more schools. That's where we need to bring it. And again, Dee, thank you, and Nancy, thank you. But that's the high schools. That's where we have to bring it. The kids have to see that, and the parents.
That's true. So as a nurse and having been an EMT in my town of Old Tappan, I got to see the police firsthand, who are our first responders here in Bergen County, you know, showing up on the scene, always did the first people on a call. And, you know, just recently I've heard that there's police departments in different states that just recently were given Narcan to carry on them. Like, you know, and it occurred to me that you know, what you all do and the experience and the care that you give our county residents, you know, going into their homes and helping them so much. I can't thank you all enough. And I've seen you firsthand do it, and it really, I appreciate you all. So we'll continue this. So I think that's pretty much it. Prosecutor Musella, you have any other words you want to wrap it up with?
No, just listen, it was another great event. What everyone said, what I heard, and what everyone is doing, and yeah, it just goes to show how everyone really cares about what we're doing. Everyone wants to help. Everyone, you know, everyone wants to help serve their community, and we want to make our community a better place to live and safer, and we want to save our kids. And we just all invested here. We're, you know, a lot of us are parents, and a lot of us live in the communities where we serve. I was born and raised in Woodridge. I'm still in Woodridge. And, you know, what the one officer said, you know, by living in town, it's tough, but also, you know, you see people every day, and you're always working, you know, you're always talking to people. People are always coming up to me and saying, you know, we see what you guys are doing, and we appreciate what you're doing. And it's always an opportunity to just get the word out and to share the word. So it's a blessing to live in the town where you work and or where you're born and raised. So in my case, it's the county. But I just think it really came across tonight how much everyone cares, how much everyone is invested, and how we just all work together, and how we're going to continue to work together, and how much we all care about this issue. So thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Morgan. And thank you to the police officers that do this every day. We can't thank you enough. And we're in this together.
Yes, we are. Thank you. Okay. Thanks again for a great evening. And